Hey, so hope folks come back. We'll see. Darn it. Technical difficulties. I tried to go to browser view and seemed to crash everything. I think it happened when I accidentally, while flipping through the options for picking the browser as the window I was going to capture, I started trying to capture the settings I was editing of the window that was open at that moment instead, and everything broke. So, I'll be right back. But seems like it's working now. Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, that was on me. So while I was gone, though, I think I found something out. Um, I believe I have identified what we're wondering here, and that is a grilled seasoned beef patty MRE. All right, so hopefully folks get the word that it's back, but that happens. Eh, unintentional early ending, but no, I'm going to keep going. We'll see. I labeled this episode 17.5, so for anybody who jumps into just this, welcome to episode 17.5 of the Ration Museum Weekly Bulletin, or not quite weekly bulletin. It is November 8th, and I am eating old food, and talking about it, and showing it, and good to see everybody coming back bit by bit. So we figured out what the mystery food was, I believe. We're looking at a mid-2000s grilled seasoned beef patty, caramel color added. However, I mean, there is an A in the middle, so I would say caramel. And I won't say meatloaf because it looks like the meatloaf was in gravy, not in its own juices. So this grilled seasoned beef patty with caramel coloring added is what I just consumed. And take a look at the pictures of those wherever they pop up, and I think you can confirm that that's what that was. So I see the numbers starting to rise, so I think hopefully folks are refreshing and saying what happened there. That was inadvertent breakdown on my side. Like I said, just tried to switch the browser view and everything went bad. All right, so grilled seasoned beef patty. That was an interesting experience. Come on, gotta have a mystery meal once in a while. So I'm just gonna have the rest of that sports drink just to follow up that probably 10 or 12-year-old beef patty, unknown, everything in between. And I'm going to be interested to try and find one or two of that ration and see if that's common, if it wasn't labeled inside for whatever reason, or if that one is just a random one-off. That it somehow made it out of the factory without any labeling. Welcome back, Gail. Welcome back, Zeno. Welcome back, Murray. Good to see folks coming back. I think we can switch over here. We can jump back into our favorite old book. We'll take a look through. Army recipes and salad dressings. Get a pair of gloves on. Especially now that I've been eating old beef patties. So yeah, right around the same era as the jalapeno patty was that seasoned beef patty, and it too is rectangular. So good to know. Still thinking about this. Maybe, well, let's do this. About this for maybe next week. I don't know, especially if everybody thinks the stream ended. You know, I don't see telltale signs that everybody's coming back. Just either way. We've got the Army recipes book, and this is where we were Army recipes for salads and salad dressings, and this is where we were running into some gems like tossed pineapple cheese salad. Actually, that does kind of sound okay. Deviled eggs, meat salad. These were all fairly normal, but everywhere along the way, or I mean, every so often along the way, we'd come across a really strange one. So carrot and cabbage sounds pretty normal. Welcome back, Caleb. Carrot and pineapple, maybe a little bit less so. Cauliflower vegetable salad. That sounds pretty normal. I can't recall if this is about where we were, if we made it through coleslaw. This appears to be, let's see, are we in a section for cabbage? Is that what we're going through? Not sure. Cottage cheese salad. I remember talking about that, so I think we still have some overlap with the last time through these. So let's see. I'm just going to bring this a little bit closer. Get the light a little bit better. That should work. All right. Yeah, Viper. Hey. So we're looking at a particular recipe book, one that's got quite a few interesting, ridiculous recipes in here mixed in among the normal ones. So this is the Army recipes for salads and salad dressings. This is the May 1961 edition of this particular recipe book, and it could be stuck into a binder. It was punched on one side, and it had binder tabs for salads and salad dressings. So, bit by bit, they start getting off the wall. So, we're looking at egg, celery, and olive salad. Probably really good. So, we've got eggs hard cooked, olives green, stuffed, and sliced, celery freshly chopped, lettuce fresh, mayonnaise salad dressing, pepper, black, salt. Let's see, and that's that one. You notice I checked the back, because in some of these they continue onto the back of the next page. So the steps as we go are to slice up the olives, remove the celery leaves and root ends, and chop them up into 1/4-inch pieces. Trim and wash and drain the lettuce. Cut it into 1-inch squares. Add the mayonnaise and seasonings to each other. Combine with everything at once, all the chopped eggs and the olives and celery, etc., and mix up. So it's this is normal. This is like chicken salad or celery salad or egg salad. Garden cottage cheese salad. So this is cucumbers and peppers and onions and cottage cheese. Now we're starting to get to where I don't know that I can make sense of it anymore. So we've got fresh celery, cucumbers, green onions, sweet chopped peppers, radishes, cottage cheese, mayonnaise, salt, and lettuce. That's got to be an interesting tasting salad. Hot cabbage slaw. So, in hot cabbage slaw, we've got cabbage, bacon, bacon drippings, onions, salt, sugar, vinegar, and water. That sounds actually pretty darn good. So, hot potato salad, potatoes, bacon, celery, onions, bacon drippings, salt, sugar. Let's see, I should probably try to get the whole thing on there in case anybody wants to freeze it and try and make it at any point. But, you know, to that end, maybe I should get this a little further up so that's possible. There we go. So, you know, again, how can you go wrong with bacon? You know, most of these salads are going to sound crazy, but then you throw some bacon in there, and I try it. You know, yeah, pretty much that's the only requirement for an I'll try it. So we've got, this one is the jelly beet salad. So we've got beets, gelatin, water for the gelatin, vinegar, salt, celery, horseradish, and onions. Okay, I got to read through how this one's made. So we're going to drain and reserve the liquid from the beets. And, you know, cut up and slice the beets into strips. Dissolve gelatin in boiling water. Add cold liquids and salt to gelatin. Pour in to shallow serving pans to a depth of 2 inches. Remove the, so clean up the celery, peel, wash, and chop onions. Mix beets, celery, horseradish, and onions. It's going to be continued because that's not an end, So over here, continued. And add to slightly thickened gelatin mixture. Okay, had me fighting there. Trim, wash, and drain lettuce. Separate the leaves. Cut salad into portion. Cut the salad. Yeah, the whole thing as a cube into serving portions and serve salad on lettuce. All right. So, let's see. Yeah, oh, that's the other thing. We are looking at the portions for, 100 servings of these, not for, not for just one person, though. Not quite the measurements that Gail's talking about, which, imagine, so if this is a celery, if one of these is a celery salad, a heavy celery salad, let's see, one that, okay. We can go with the egg, celery, and olive salad. This has 3 pounds of celery in it. This one has 4 pounds of celery in it. So if she's saying 200 pounds going into a vat, imagine, imagine what that's got to be like. 'Cause celery doesn't weigh a lot, by itself. A pound of celery is a pretty substantial amount of celery. So this is a kidney bean salad. This sounds pretty normal. Kidney beans, water. You got to boil, soak and boil the beans. Onions, salt, water, celery, eggs. Hard-boiled eggs chopped up. Onions, again, so dry chopped onions and dry minced onions as separate ingredients. Peppers. We got sweet peppers. Let's see, we got cucumbers. Oh, cucumber pickles. Sweet cucumber pickles. And we'll continue on to the back. Mayonnaise, salt, pepper, and vinegar, and some canned kidney beans as a substitution to the first steps of boiling your own beans. So honestly, that sounds pretty normal. I'm going to try and find some more ridiculous ones. Lettuce and endive salad is lettuce and endives. I knew they were going to throw a curveball at me, but there we go. We've got macaroni club salad, macaroni, salt, water, eggs, celery, onions, parsley, peppers, sweet peppers, pimentos, pickles, mayonnaise, milk. Oh, evaporated milk for the macaroni. Okay, I can see that. Black pepper, salt, vinegar, lettuce, paprika. That sounds really normal and good. Macaroni vegetable salad. That's probably going to be pretty good. I'm gonna speed up just a little bit. So, marinated green bean and onion salad sounds pretty savory. Mixed vegetable salad with egg. That sounds, peas, eggs, cucumbers, celery, carrots, lettuce. That sounds pretty normal. Molded cabbage salad. Now, first time I saw one of these molded and wasn't thinking gelatin, it's like, well, that's got to be a pretty acquired taste there. Oh, sorry for the awful sound since I came back. I just saw that it reset itself to 100%. That's technical difficulties, folks. So now it looks like it's in a normal sound level. So if everybody had their sound turned down, you can turn it back up to normal. Sorry about that. So this is a gelatin mold cabbage salad. So I would consider it pretty strange compared to what we're used to. You wouldn't go to a restaurant and get a gelatin molded salad, anywhere. Anywhere. Like if you can find me a restaurant in the United States where, it's not some kind of like food anarchy, crazy experimentation, place, and it's just like a normal restaurant and they have gelatinized salads on the menu. I'd love to see it because I think that there was an era where it was pushed pretty hard and that era has passed. Let's see, what's James saying? Gonna have some strawberry ice cream for dessert. That sounds really good. Wii archery for physical therapy. Oh, Wii archery is I really liked the Wii when it came out, and for years and years, just for all that kind of stuff, like being if you're gonna do a game with a bow and arrow, you get to actually put your hand up and draw the other hand back and pull the trigger to let go, and or you play tennis and swinging your hands around. It's just neat. Like it was a step in the right direction for gaming because for a lot of people it was really sedentary. So you get a good mix now with things like the Wii and virtual reality and whatnot, where you can be a little more active while gaming. What's aspic salad? Aspic. I don't know. Um, does it say that anywhere? No, it doesn't say that here. Spring salad, meat flavored gelatin. Oh, is that in? No. Okay. Meat flavored gelatin, like beef stock used in the water that was used to. Or like the material that surrounds spam when it's canned. Because I know there's like a fine gelatin that's used, especially on like canned and potted meats. Perfection salad. Okay, let's see. What is perfection in salad form? Well, I'll tell you. It's lemon gelatin, boiling water, cold water, lemon juice or vinegar. Juice, lemon, or vinegar. Like that. Those aren't the same thing. Juice, comma, lemon or vinegar. If you're going to put a cup of lemon juice into something or a cup of vinegar into something, you're not playing with the same flavors there. And that's where some of the fun of military food, having a bad rap for so long came from, was you see these options and it's like, well, I don't have lemon juice, I need an acid in here. I'm just going to go for vinegar. It's like, oh God. fresh shredded cabbage, fresh chopped carrots, fresh chopped celery, dry chopped onions, sweet fresh chopped peppers, a little salt, and a little fresh lettuce. So in this one, we're gonna make the gelatin, and we're going to trim the cabbage. I mean, trim and wash the cabbage. Chop up the carrots. We're gonna take care of clean up and chop up the celery. Chop up the onions. And I bet it's just gonna say mix it all, dump it all into into the slightly thickened gelatin again. So it starts to fall into it, but doesn't go all the way, and then let it finish thickening. So again, if you can find me anywhere where you can go in as a sit-down meal and order some kind of gelatinized salad where you're getting slices of salad in gel, then I'd love to see it. Pickle, relish, coleslaw. Oh, that sounds pretty normal. Cabbage, peppers, pimentos, sweet pickle relish, black pepper, salt, sugar, mayonnaise. That's normal. Raw spinach, cucumber, and radish salad. That honestly sounds pretty normal as well. Sliced cucumber and onion. Sliced tomato salad. Oh, here's going to be a nice simple one. Now remember, you can't have a salad in the Army unless it's got lettuce. I don't care what it is, it's got lettuce. So, in this case, it's just, what are you going to have? Sliced tomato, but you're just going to put it on a bed of lettuce. So, so trim, wash, and drain lettuce. Separate the leaves. Arrange leaves on a serving sheet. Wash and remove the top portion of the tomato core. Slice the tomatoes so they're half an inch thick. Arrange 3 slices of tomatoes on lettuce, I guess per portion. There's probably someone somewhere that went through and sliced up 30 pounds of tomatoes, put them in a tray, and then served trays of lettuce that cumulatively total across all the trays had 3 slices of tomatoes, because that's what the instructions say to do, and didn't want to get hurt. Or didn't want to get yelled at. See what's in the channel name. Let's see. Historic Food Channel. Check out Emmy Made in Japan. I will check that out. We want to get this cookbook digitized and online too. I see Zeno saying he wants to look for it. At some point, I want to get this whole thing digitized, if it isn't already. And to look for that, actually, a lot of these are out there, but their scans are done in the 70s or done in the 60s, and a Xerox machine or whatever they were using, a mimeograph or whatever it would happen to be, wasn't necessarily going to get really high resolution, clear, copies of these things. Now, for this book, I bet what's out there, if you wanted to look up TM 10-412-4 for this variation of it, so that's training manual, type 10, manual 412, probably revision 4. You'll probably find a PDF somewhere of this, but if not, please let me know, because then we can put a note that we need to digitize this when we get to that step. And if what you find is terrible, also let me know, because you'll go through it and you'll find whole pages have been bent over or missing or whatever it happens to be, but or they're just like big blotches where it wasn't 100% pressed down on the glass when it was being photocopied. So we certainly want to help with that effort at some, when we can. But what I was going to say with this one, I don't think it would matter too much. There isn't a single picture in here. It's just white on black, black on white text, black text on white background. But in a lot of these manuals and books that we have, there's a lot of finite detail in the pictures, and the 30 or 40-year-old scans of them that exist in these military archives are, you just can't see. You can't see any of the pictures. So definitely want to get a lot of what we have, recirculated. Um, hey, here we go. Well, there we go. We're getting into the first aspic salads. So fresh, celery, fresh, chopped fine. Onions, dry and chopped. Bay leaves, whole. Cloves, whole. Tomato juice, canned. Ground mustard, cayenne pepper, salt. Lemon gelatin, vinegar, fresh lettuce. And that doesn't continue, so here's at least this particular aspect. Remove leaves, root ends, separate the stalks of celery, wash thoroughly, chop finely, peel, wash, and chop onions finely. Combine celery, onions, seasonings, tomato juice, bring to a boil, and simmer for 5 minutes. Strain and add enough water to yield 1 3/4 gallons. Dissolve gelatin in hot liquid. So wait, which one was hot? Oh, yeah, okay, the whole thing. So you got 1 3/4 gallons of simmering celery and onion liquid. Now you're going to dissolve the gelatin in there. Add your cup of vinegar across 100 portions. Pour into a dish to chill until all the way firm. This time we're not going to suspend anything in it. Then we're going to trim, wash, and drain lettuce. So the actual material, or the actual gelatin, seems like it's just the tomato juice, celery, and onions, and the bay leaves. I'm sure get pulled back out. Tomato aspic salad is really tasty. Okay, I'm interested. Definitely interested. Do people get it canned, or are there places serving it? Because I would consider that a gelatinized slab salad to go try somewhere. Tossed green salad. Well, they got to do it eventually, right? Endive, fresh and trimmed. Escarole, fresh and trimmed. Romaine, fresh and trimmed. Onions, dry and chopped. Pepper, black, salt. So we got some greens torn up with onions, pepper, and salt on them. That's all that the tossed green salad is. Wilted lettuce. Is that a meal? Let's see, lettuce, fresh and trimmed. Bacon, diced. Oh, okay, no, there's different weights. I don't think I noticed that before. So if you have fresh lettuce, you need 17 pounds of it, or 17 heads of it. And if you get trimmed lettuce, so like if it's already gone through that process on your cooking line, then you only need 13 pounds of it, or 8 gallons of it. That's neat, that it gets that specific. Okay, so diced bacon, hard-boiled and chopped eggs, bacon drippings, dry minced onions, black pepper, cayenne pepper, salt, granulated sugar, vinegar. Oh, now I know why I didn't want to forget tonight. So, NASA pamphlets. I'm going to go grab the one I just picked up, so my earlier tweet wasn't a lie, but I knew I'd forget. Technical difficulties in the middle kind of has that effect. So I wonder why this got the name wilted lettuce. You tear up the lettuce leaves, and add the raw bacon. Or no, you don't add it. You dice and fry the raw bacon. You chop up the eggs. You add the bacon and eggs to the lettuce, and you toss it together. Peel, wash, and mince onions. Add the onions, seasonings, and sugar and vinegar to the bacon drippings. Boil that, and add hot dressing just before serving. Okay, so you put a hot dressing on top, and that'll wilt it. That makes sense. I bet that's really, really good. That sounds excellent. So, let's see. This one's in the middle. So, all of these on this side are salads on both sides of it. Except this dressing seems to have made it there, even though this divider's here. So, that's interesting. Blue cheese dressing. We know what blue cheese is, or blue cheese dressing is, so we can skip that. So here we've got all kinds of salad dressings that we'll have to save for a later date. We've also got, flipping this around and going back through, we've got all the other random salads that we haven't looked at yet that are on the backs of cards. Spiced pear and cottage cheese salad, that sounds awesome. Jellied cranberry and orange. A lot of these make perfect sense. A lot of them not so much. So hold on one sec. I'm going to run upstairs and grab that NASA pamphlet, and then we'll take a look at that before we call it for today. Alright, I'm back. So, let's see what I missed in chat. Oh, you're saying the tomato aspic used to be served at a restaurant in Ontario. Gotcha. Grew up with wilted lettuce salad. Nice. It looks melted when completed. I'd love to try that at some point. That one sounded really nice. You know, it's talking about a fruit salad with marshmallows, whipped cream, coconut, and nuts. That sounds awesome. Yeah, ambrosia, I think, is what we called that, and that's what Murray's saying. Maybe I'm talking about something different, but that sounds about right. It's really good. Is it called 5-cup salad because you put a cup of each of those in there? You know, that might make sense. Or because you want to eat 5 cups of it. That's probably not it, but let's see. So this is what I wanted to show you guys. I actually wanted to go through a whole bunch of different NASA pamphlets, but maybe we can do that as the informational part of next time. We kind of got into the weeds with all the old food this time. Let's see, I'm going to switch over to this. And then we're going to move the light back up because it's a little too close at present. All right. Okay, so this is aboard the space shuttle. This is a late 1970s, I believe, NASA publication. Let me see if I can get a date on here. 1982. I should probably start saying I guess instead of I believe, because that's what I mean when I'm like, I believe it's around this time. I'm saying I'm making an educated guess it's around this time, based on all the things I've seen in the that particular field, like in terms of like all these other pamphlets and what I know the content to be about. It's a guess. I should stop saying believe, because I don't believe that it's late 1970s or 80s, like specifically. I'm guessing that that's what it is, and we'll confirm. So this one's 1982, and this is educational material that you would have to request either for schools or let's see, or for libraries. But what makes me interested in this particular one is the section right here, section page 14, the food. So we actually have some of these from these pictures, some of this particular variety of space food. Oh, and who doesn't love these fantastic fold-outs? Looking around inside the cockpit of the space shuttle, just a neat pamphlet in general. But a lot of these, so this one isn't a continuation of Food in Space, which is its own pamphlet series, its own like micro booklet series. But this is oh, and I should double check. Everybody can hear me, right? Because I did go to the Be Right Back screen and came back, just making sure I didn't break audio-wise. But the other pamphlets are specific to food and cover a couple different programs. But this talks about packing and storage, which gets into the food for sure. This is one of the more information-heavy, picture-heavy pamphlets that get into these exploded views and diagrams of the space shuttle. Compared to a lot of the ones I saw, this gives you a really good idea of the actual workings of the space shuttle itself, from the the command portion of it through the experimental and living quarters portions. And all the different packed materials would go into these, kind of brick-like containers, padded containers that would get attached one upon the other, like you see over here. And the reason that I'm taking some time to poke into that is because the food goes in there, in those kind of structures, and we're going to get to those in a moment. Here we go. So we've got cubed foods, but then this is what's interesting. So this is 1982. So the late 70s and early 80s is the era where these tray meals were. I mean, these little hard plastic trays that would, you would get the gun injected in and then the straw stuck in if it was a drink, but to cook them up. And we have some of those in the collection, and they're not common by any means. They were only a couple years where these were the style. Do I have any on top? No, they're buried. I'm gonna leave them be for now. But we have a couple varieties between drinks and meals. But this also shows the. I wanted you guys to see this. This is not just an MRE pouch. Yeah, it's 1982, and oh god, it's not showing clearly enough. When you guys see this clearly, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. Let's see if maybe this camera can pick it up a little better. There you go. Four Fingers of Death. So yeah, they had the MRE hot dogs as a space meal, and this shows the Galley system, which it's interesting because we have the design documents. So Four Fingers of Death was just because they were four hot dogs side by side, looking like fingers on a hand, but chopped off, and because they weren't too good, on their own was the idea or the reasoning behind that. But yeah, the Shuttle Galley system. Did I say Darth? I thought I said Death. Okay, but so the Shuttle Galley system, we have all the production and development documents for in here because I found them on eBay at one point and went for it, and it was this packet about that thick of just this heavy binder manual of the final classified development and instruction for the production of the Galley system and all that stuff, and all the revisions it went through, and all the committees and approvals, and all the the sign-offs on the different stages of testing, and it's just so detailed and fantastic. And it's essentially this thing. So this talks about it for a couple paragraphs, while I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages of content. Actually, probably 200 pages of content. I don't want I'm exaggerating there, but I got 200 pages of content talking about the development of the Shuttle Galley system and how to make it as useful and efficient and redundant as possible. And there's pumping systems and water heating and cooling and all and circulating and shut off and bypassing in there. It's just really interesting stuff. But then this is one of the only pamphlets that I've seen that has the actual packing of the meals in this much detail. So we're going to want to scan this whole thing. No worries about the joke, James. So you can almost make out like all the little individual cans and the labelings, and special meals would be tagged for certain astronauts, but for the most part, it was for a lot of the the early shuttle missions. They'd go up for a few days, they'd come back down. They don't need things to be ridiculously long-term stable. So for those, they'd have a lot of the freeze-dried stuff. But for the shorter missions, they could have sandwiches. It wasn't quite like the shuttle era. I mean, the not shuttle era. The like Gemini and Apollo and Mercury era, where it's guys in a tin can right up against each other in very, very, very little space with all kinds of sensitive, just being trialed equipment. You couldn't have anything that could make any crumbs or lose any liquid. But hey, do you see somebody familiar there? So pretty certain that's our buddy P-51 specifically versus and why is because of the double ridges versus the P-38. So I believe that's what we're looking at right there, but with a little Velcro tab on it so that it can stick to the galley. So they were still cutting open cans in some cases. And you can see here the galley system tray folded out, for on Earth, I guess, stand-up prep, because it didn't quite work that way when the system was in space. But here's the meal tray, which was a compartment, kind of a snapping system tray. So you had your different meals. Actually, it was Velcro and rubber tabs to keep things in place. So I'm trying to just get an angle where you can see some of the color in this, but it is a pretty washed out photo in the actual book as well. So here, it's a drink, regular, probably some chicken, probably some mashed potatoes, maybe. I don't know, but just you'd get your different rehydratable meal pieces and you'd put it all together. And then we move on into sleep. I have some good original NASA press release photos of that guy eating. Let's see, Owen Garriott on Skylab. And this gets more and more into the workings of the shuttle. Oh, and this was a really neat aspect of the shuttle system. I mean, it really was an amazing piece of technology for the time, and the fact that we got to use them for 30 years stands testament to how well engineered they were. So this is the hydrogen fuel cell running in the shuttle for the electricity on board, and it made pure water as a byproduct. So, pretty neat. Space toilet. Can't forget the space toilets. Just going a little faster on the rest of these because, it's not space food. But this is a great pamphlet, like I was saying. Talks about upcoming projects and hopes and dreams and all that for eventually having a large-scale international means of doing research and permanent habitation or semi-permanent habitation in space. And little do they know, less than 20 years later, they'd have the first pieces up there of the International Space Station, which has been circling the planet for, I want to say, about 22 years at this point, getting bigger and bigger and bigger along the way. But next time we can take a look through some of the food and space pamphlets, which are more concentrated on the actual production and meals, etc., for each program. So we get a pretty good overview of the space food systems and the meals of the day, but then, the meal style of the time. But then at the end of them, we have the actual listings of planned meals for the shuttle launches or capsule missions or whatever they would happen to be. So that's why over time I want to keep looking for those, because I feel like there's going to be quite a few out there that I haven't stumbled on just yet, in terms of if they were mainly given out with press releases about a particular launch and have the series of launches, because normally they'd have like STS and maybe a handful of them, or these meals are for STS 23 through 46 or whatever. But I'd like to see how many varieties I might be missing at some point. And this is the kind of thing where I keep talking about it in the short term, but eventually I just need to get data together, and get a better means of just adding to it incrementally as we go. Velcro is pretty amazing. I've been looking at some of the newest Velcro. It's just totally different. Doesn't pick up fuzz. Doesn't have those sharp plastic hooks the same way. But Velcro, if you were to go back into the turn of the century, would seem like witchcraft. Turn of the century, 1900. I want to say it's a product of at least the latter half of the 20th century. But not out of the question that some of us may have been born prior to the invention of Velcro, or have parents born prior to the invention of Velcro, or certainly grandparents in some cases. Born to a world without the ability to stick something to something and remove it and put it back essentially indefinitely. Oh, absolutely keeping this. I just got this. Yeah. So yeah, this is one that'll go into the space pamphlet collection, which and space booklet collection, which we'll take a look into next week. In terms of just getting a little more perspective on the versions that have come out over the years and how things have changed from the Gemini era or the Mercury era where we were talking about tube foods with very long 1952. So hey, there we go. I was 2 years from being wrong with my guess. So Velcro invented in 1952. But but yeah, we'll see. The evolution of space food from tube foods with the great big long needles for essentially the last parts, a tube in two senses, like a toothpaste tube full of food, and then a long tube for the actual feeding, because they'd have their pressure suits on, their helmets, for high altitude engagement, whether it was the U-2 pilots and that sort of thing, or the Mercury astronauts. They were essentially wearing the same suit. So there was a gasketed hole in the front of the suit that went through a layer inside that it didn't let air in or out, but as you put the tube in there and press it through the gasketed section, it opened up and you could actually eat the food inside the tube or drink the drink inside the tube. And then as you're pulling it back out, it's sealing so that outside of you in your cockpit or your capsule, there's no atmosphere or extremely thin atmosphere or dangerous atmosphere, and you're still able to pick up a piece of food and eat it and go, put it back down without taking your entire suit and gear off. So that's where we started with the space food program, and you're going to see that going through where we are now in the space food program, which is essentially totally consumable, shelf-stable MRE meals. So hope you guys come back for that and for other trip in other exploration into the museum archives. It's always fun to have you guys here with me. I enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. Sorry about the technical difficulty in the middle. I hope, in the 3/4 mark. I hope folks see this chunk as well and come back to finish it out. And hi and bye to all those who came to check out the video while this was going on and thought that it was over. So I appreciate everybody that came out. I hope you all have a great rest of your Sunday. And I will join you again soon for a taste of something fairly interesting. Maybe this nut cake, maybe another pound cake. We'll see soon. In the beginning of December, though, remember we're going to try that 50-year-old chocolate nut cake. Or chocolate nut roll, this one. So that's coming up too. But it turns 50 on December 1st. So, and I'm going on that based off of the labeling on the same batch from the same producer of, in this case, pound cake. So this was an October 27th, 1970 can. So I'm assuming this is a 1st of December, not a 12th of January can. So this will be 50 years old in just a few weeks. Anyway, everybody have a great rest of your night. Always a pleasure, and I will see you again soon.